Hey everybody, I'm Jackson.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is Who It At?
The Masked Singer Podcast. Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of Who It At? The Masked Singer Podcast.
We're back. We're raging in action. We're ready to go.
Unlike The Masked Singer
True.
on Fox, we didn't have an episode this week in case you did not know because of the World Series. We'll be back next week with The Masked Singer though. But for this week, we had to come up with something a little different to do since we didn't have an episode to recap.
That's correct.
So we have some exciting stuff in store for all of you listening. And
yes.
Yeah, so before we get to that, just a couple little housekeeping things. If you haven't already, please rate and review us on iTunes.
Pretty please.
So we can be the official Masked Singer podcast. Forget about Bow Wow.
Exactly.
Just kidding.
More like Boo Wow.
Boo-hoo.
Wow.
He'll be boo-hoo after this.
Get him. Also, though, Bow Wow, come on to the podcast to discuss. Yes. We could merge.
Yeah.
We could merge
also,
podcasts.
Mark Sanchez come out of the podcast to discuss your performance. You did like our Instagram post.
A big housekeeping note. Yes, Mark Sanchez did like our Instagram post from our page. If you're not following us on Instagram, Mark Sanchez approves, so you should probably approve as well.
So that's at WhoIsThatPod, no spaces on Instagram and Twitter.
Correct. I don't think you can have spaces and ads.
Well, I meant no like characters or anything either.
Sure.
No underscores.
No, none of that other stuff.
Yeah.
Just straight
let's
up, who is
see,
that
what
pod?
else? We have some bonus content in the works for our Patreon, which is at the moment primarily for our other podcast, The Green Light, which you should also listen to.
Yes.
But we are going to have some bonus content coming to our Patreon for Who Is That? So stay tuned for that. If you would like to join our Patreon, we will love you forever.
Yes, and
give you a shout out.
If you are listening to this on the day that it drops, it will have been 2 days after our sweet Lauren's birthday. So if you want to support her, if you want to wish her a happy birthday, go ahead and support us on Patreon. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just, I turned 23, so if you want to just be like $23 a month, wouldn't hate that.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's kind of a lot.
Understandably, you can't. However,
you can join for as low as $1 though.
Yes,
per month.
exactly.
So that's pretty cool.
Yep, correct. You can do those things.
Alrighty, I think we're ready to move on to our episode proper.
Yes, so as Lauren mentioned earlier, The Masked Singer did not have an episode this week. Sad. Let's all have a moment of silence. Okay, that's it. We're done. That was the episode, everybody. All right, see you back next week with... No, I'm kidding.
Just kidding. Don't turn it off, please.
Yes, please don't. As you can tell, there is much more time left in this episode. So what we wanted to do is to just do a quick brief recap of the season so far, sort of our overall overarching thoughts, before we did something a little special, which we are going to be doing sort of in the theme of the month.
Yeah.
A spooky costume tier list. So, Lauren compiled a list of all of the spooky costumes or spooky adjacent costumes.
Yes.
And we are going to put them in a tier list. And we'll explain that more when the time comes. Did you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I narrowed
Lauren?
it down to, I think 18 masks from all 4 seasons, including this one, even some people we haven't seen yet of the U.S. Masked Singer. So we're going to be ranking them in some funky name tiers that we will talk about later.
Yes,
but
correct.
for now, let's go ahead with our recap of season 4.
Yeah, so
do you have brief thoughts?
Yeah, overall thoughts, Lauren, go for it. What have you thought about the season so far?
Overall thoughts, I think this is by far the best talent overall that we've seen on a season of The Masked Singer
undoubtedly,
so far.
Correct.
Undoubtedly. I mean, it's really wild. There are some contestants who have gotten out who would have made it much, much farther on a different season of The Masked Singer.
Easily.
But the thing is, they're, in a way, not to say they're getting pushed out, but they're kind of getting pushed out this early because the other talent is so good. And, for better or for worse, I'm kind of talking about Giraffe, Brian Austin Green. No, but I mean, there are plenty of people, Mickey Rourke is one too, who, again, would have lasted much longer on a different season of the show.
Mickey Rourke, I think, got out at the right time no matter what season. I agree with you for Mark Sanchez. I think Mark Sanchez
definitely
Baby Alien would have lasted much farther. Truthfully,
I was a little disappointed because of how unique the costume was that he got out so early, but at the same time, in terms of performance level, I think it was the right time compared to the other people in this group.
Agree. I think no one who has gotten out... Busta Rhymes getting out, conspiracy, let me put on the tinfoil hat, definitely because He just
had
didn't
other
want to
stuff
be
to
on
do.
for long. Yes. So that one, I will say, I don't think necessarily is on the up and up. Maybe it is. Who knows? However, I will say for the most part, people have gotten out where they should have gotten out.
Yeah.
The only issue is just the talent is so much higher, like you were saying, you know?
Yeah.
Truthfully...
Well, I think Giraffe would have made it farther than... Well, okay. Actually, I want to switch it the other way. White Tiger would have gotten out in one of these first couple rounds. He would not have made it to the final 9 in this season.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Rob Gronkowski. Love you. You can't sing.
Gronk, we do love you. You know that.
Come on the pod to
We've
discuss.
heaped praises upon your personality. However, your vocal talents are not necessarily up to par.
You know what, though?
Unfortunately.
I mean, he's so good at football that it would be just disrespectful if he was also a good singer.
That is true.
He'd have too many talents.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually watching some Gronk highlights today. It came up on my Instagram. Yeah, when he was in his prime, man, he was unstoppable.
I was about to say, like, has he really had any really good moments in the Bucks? I don't know.
No, they were old highlights,
Old
but
Patriots ones.
yeah, he was just one of those guys that he caught everything, and it took like 3 people to bring him down.
Yeah.
He's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So love you, Gronk. Come on the podcast. We'd love to have you to hear your thoughts. But
he's also really fun to watch on that one Tide Pods commercial he did.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a great guy, and I've
like
heard
a
him
really
on some
great guy.
interviews, and he's really nice. But back to the crux of the
that was
show.
last season.
Yes. What has been your favorite performance so far, Lauren?
I mean, I really just feel like Sun singing "Cause I Love You" just opened the season with a bang, kind of unstoppable. However, I don't know. It would be very difficult for me to decide between that performance and Seahorse's "My Heart Will Go On" that we saw this last episode.
Yes,
because that was incredible.
I agree that the Seahorse's "My Heart Will Go On" was incredible. I still definitely Sun's, aka who we think Leanne Rimes' first performance was absolutely just stunning, and just the fact that it was the first performance of the season.
We were shook. I'm still shook.
And this is sort of a bit more of a prediction. I feel like she's going to be able to have a bit more range than Seahorse is, because while Seahorse's first performance, I can't remember what she's saying, while it was very good, I do
it was a Rihanna song. Was it
Only Girl in the World?
I think
it was. I think you're right. While it was good, and while it was still probably a top 5, you know, like a top 5 performance maybe so far that we've seen, I don't know if she has quite the same range as Leanne Rimes does. And so I'll be interesting to see how they continue.
I'll also be interested just because, you know, we've kind of talked about this before, but a lot of Leanne Rimes' music is definitely more mellow, a little more mixy. Yeah. And she's definitely brought out her belty side on The Masked Singer.
Yes, which
so
I
I'm
love.
interested to see if she ventures into that more mellow side that she's more known for later on.
For sure.
Or if she chooses to stick with this. I do think she will probably have to vary it up just a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know, just to show, again, more range. But what she's doing now is incredible. I think she absolutely can.
Now, I will say, I do have a bit of a soft spot for Serpent. A, because he's incredibly talented, obviously.
He's
and
very
B,
good.
Because of who I think it is.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that I think it's Christopher Jackson just, like, increases my love for Serpent tenfold. Really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still kind of think it's Taye Diggs, but the only problem is I'm too much of an Idina Menzel stan to stan Taye Diggs because he cheated on her.
No,
anyway.
That's totally fine. that is totally fair. I love Christopher Jackson as an artist and a performer and as a human being.
If it is him, I will stan Serpent because Chris Jackson is awesome.
He is awesome and I love him. I really do hope it's him. And I really do think it is him. But yes, so I've loved him so far. He's been great. But the person I'm interested to see more is Crocodile. I think we've seen 2 very different performances.
We've seen 2 very different performances.
And truthfully, he's really the only... Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He's the only person we've seen dance and dance well so
this
far.
Season, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so...
Well, and he's also... They kind of... The judges kind of talked about this in the moment, but his vocal shift between his first and second performances is probably the biggest shift we've seen between 2 performances on the show easily. Yet, at least in the US version.
Yeah, for sure. And so... I wouldn't be surprised if just his willingness to go outside of his comfort zone, to explore things, and his ability to dance will put him further than just on voice alone. Because while I do think so far the 3 most talented people we have are Sun, Serpent, and Seahorse, The three S's.
Three S's.
The three S's of the apocalypse.
We were talking about actually, what if in Group C, Squiggly Monster is like really
incredible.
good just to have another S.
The four S's of the apocalypse, even more appropriate for the humor. However, I wouldn't be surprised just because obviously they're both unique performers and they are different. However, you have Sun and Seahorse, both as two powerhouse female singers. What if they sort of get grouped in the same category and it becomes an either or for them?
I would be so sad if they had to do a showdown thing prior to the finals where it was one of those things where it was the two of them, one of them would get eliminated.
Yeah.
That would break my heart because they both 100% deserve to make it to the finals. I don't care who's in Group C.
I think it'll be interesting to see if one of them breaks out and does more like dancing, does some more physical things or different, shows more range. Because I think that will make a big difference.
Strictly based on costume, I don't see Sun doing all that much physically, but based on Seahorse's costume, I could see her,
I definitely could.
Possibly Tori Kelly doing something physically.
I think we mentioned this briefly at the beginning, or in our preview episode. I have heard rumors that Sun sort of has two separate, like, not two fully separate costumes, but two sort of accessories. Like, I think
a removable skirt kind of deal.
Correct.
Well, she also has that thing that she only has on part of the time that's almost like a halo that goes behind the sun.
Exactly.
That metal thing.
So I could see her doing that. Other question for you, speaking of other solid competitors. When do you think the Snow Owls are going to break out of their shell? Metaphorically and literally.
I think it's tough to tell because, okay, wait, who all do we have? Group A, we already saw the finals, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I think now that they're going to be in the final 9, I think next performance, especially since we won't get to the final 9 for a while because we still have the finals of Group B and all of Group C.
Yeah.
I think next time we see them, they're coming out of the egg.
You think next time?
I think so.
Wow, that's strong.
Well, I think, honestly, we've seen two pretty similar performances from them.
Yeah,
it's just them doing a duet and harmonizing.
Yes.
We need a little more spice once we get in the final 9.
Yeah.
So I think next time is when they're breaking out.
Yeah, we've also mentioned this before. I'd love to see them do sort of like a ballroom type dance type thing. I think it would be...
I think that would be great. Well, because I don't see them like really breaking it down, you know what I mean?
Exactly, and especially considering the people who have been guests and who we think it is.
They might be like, you know,
they're probably
not in their
older.
20s, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So it could be something. It could be cool to see them do a different type of dance, especially one that you wouldn't get to see with most performers just because
they don't have partners.
Yes, exactly.
I would also like to briefly discuss, speaking of dancing and partners and having other people,
let's go.
What has been going on with the costumes for the background performers this season?
They've been impeccable, Lauren. Next question.
Well, I mean, we did kind of mention last week how we think maybe they've been inflatable part of the time or have, you know, morph suits fully covering their faces, which has made an appearance in previous seasons.
Yes.
Partly because that
Due
acts
to
as a
COVID
mask.
restrictions.
You know, COVID restrictions. I mean, if you're in a fully inflatable costume and air's not getting out anywhere near your face, I mean, you're probably not going to give anyone COVID from where you are.
Exactly.
But it's definitely a little unsettling sometimes.
It's unsettling, but it once again goes to that sort of unhinged nature that we've talked about that I love from this show so far.
But I mean, you know, I remember even last season when we had Miss Monster, a lot of times the costumes were just people in morph suits and they just had one big eye over their heads.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, okay, that's scary.
Unsettling at times, for sure. But
I wonder, okay, I'm curious just because we haven't seen lips yet. I'm curious because I feel like lips almost, the costume, of course, while the lips are much bigger than any of the people in the background's costumes.
Yep.
I almost feel like it looks like one of the backup dancer costumes.
Lips itself?
Yeah.
I definitely see that.
I mean, I could definitely see everyone in the background, if they're not dressed up as inflatable tubes of lipstick, calling it now.
Yes.
They're pretty much going to be wearing, like, the same thing, but the lips will be just the size of their head.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about that group that we haven't seen, which includes Lips, Squiggly Monster, Mushroom, Jellyfish, and Broccoli. What do you hope to see from them? Are you most excited for? Who do you think's gonna get out quick, etc.? What are your sort of thoughts on them?
Okay, so this is purely going based on our, you know, guesses that we have without having seen anyone at all.
Yep.
But I am excited for Jellyfish because we think that she is Missy Elliott. I think Missy Elliott I would be really, really interested to see a woman who's a rapper because we have not had a woman who's a rapper really on this show.
Correct.
I would also love to see an all-women finals, so if she could just blow us all away real quick and it could be Seahorse and Jellyfish in the finals, that would be fab.
Yeah, that'd be pretty incredible.
Yeah. Let me see. I I don't think Squiggly Monster is going to be good because that costume is an abomination. We will talk about Squiggly Monster later.
Yes, we will.
But it would be interesting if Squiggly Monster was good just because they are an S, and that's kind of been our thing so far.
True.
Let me see.
Also
I'm excited for
interesting.
Broccoli to reveal himself as Dana Carvey. I'm really excited to see
They really
anything
do
about
add
Mushroom
up.
because we just did not have a good guess for Mushroom.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to hear them and see kind of what their personality is just because the costume is so cute.
Yeah, the costume's really cute.
And I'm also interested to see if or how and if at all they move in that
Mushroom?
costume. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the little squirrel again. That's on their costume.
Oh, true. I forgot about the
Adorable.
little squirrel.
Yeah, I am definitely interested to see sort of how well these match up to what our original guesses were, because we haven't had that in a while, and it's going to be exciting to see a whole new group, a whole full slate of guesses, which will be like, okay, were our guesses correct or were they totally wrong? Which for the most part, totally wrong. However, we will see, and it'll be exciting, and that should be next week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, unless they might show us the Group B finals first, but I think they're going to do CBC. You know?
That is what it is looking like. I am on the Masked Singer wiki, and it looks like both episode 5 and 6 are going to be Group C.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Weird that they wouldn't, because I mean, the other ones all had episodes in between, so that's interesting.
Now, granted, I don't know how well
Informed the people on the wiki are.
Correct.
That's fair.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited for Group C, and especially for Jellyfish.
Yeah. This is so interesting. Because they also have episode 7 being the Group A finals.
No, Group A already had their finals. Because
Unless
they
they're
already
going
got them down to 3.
Unless they're going down to 2 each group, maybe.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
But I thought that they already said that we had the Group A finals, though.
Well, we had the Group A playoffs.
Did we?
Yes, that's technically what it's been.
Oh, but I don't know. I just think that's odd because I thought the whole reason that we were seeing Group B again was because we had to get them down to 3, and the other ones are already at 3. So unless we're gonna see, unless it's gonna be a double elimination in the Group B finals, and all the other ones are gonna be single, and they're gonna get them down to 2, that's would be
very
wild.
possible. Yeah, it is wild, and so
and
I'm
that would
definitely
also just be
to see
so
how that
tough
works.
too because I feel like if we wait until we're down to the final 6 to bring all the groups together, that's just really tough for people in Group B who are up against Seahorse and Serpent. It's like you really have no chance of survival with both of them there.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's down to 2.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah. But that's what we got. Do you have any other final thoughts on season 4 so far? Things you'd like to talk about? Contestants you love, contestants you hate?
Not about contestants. The only other thing I want to talk about is that I really like the first impression thing from the judges, and especially the Vault Train.
The Vault Train?
Yeah.
Bring back the Vault Train,
Toot toot.
please. Well, we probably will bring back the Vault Train, actually, for Group C, because they're going to have to make their first impression guesses. Okay.
I think
One
we're
final
ready.
thing. Final thing. Who's going to win? Before even seeing Group C, who's going to win?
Sun. That's all. That's all I got.
I was going to say Sun, too. You can't do that.
You asked me. I don't know what to tell you.
I know.
No, I mean, I think it's Sun. It's okay for you to say the same thing. I think it's the best choice.
I do think it's going to be Sun. Serpent is my number 2 so
It'll
far.
definitely be... well, I think my number 2 right now is Seahorse.
Which is fair.
Unless, I was about to say unless people are sexist. Unless people are sexist.
There you go.
That's a joke. Don't... Okay.
I'm taking it to heart.
All right.
As I do with all
I mean, of
jokes.
course Serpent
I
is
don't
incredible.
understand
I
humor.
just think that Seahorse and Sun are unstoppable.
Okay.
And unless...
Very interesting to see.
Unless the universe pits them against each other, which would break my heart,
Yes.
I think they will be first and second this season.
Well, I think it will be interesting because I don't know if it will even be specifically the universe pitting them against each other. I think just the...
Well, Fox.
Well, yes, I don't
The
think...
universe that is Fox.
Specifically Fox pitting them against each other. I just think because they both sort of fall into that same category.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
well,
saying?
and I can understand, who was it? Was it Rhino and Astronaut that were against each other?
It was Turtle
no, it was
and
Turtle
Astronaut.
and Astronaut.
And granted, Turtle... The talents of Turtles was
I felt that Turtle was far superior to Astronaut.
Yeah.
Even though they did kind of fill the same
Well,
role
exactly.
from a
Yeah.
boy bandish perspective.
I think the talent gap is much smaller between
I agree.
Seahorse
I
and
agree.
Sun.
I would be I would just be very, very disappointed to see one of them go home before the finals and have someone who is not quite on
not
their
as
level
talented.
end up in the finals.
Well, I think that's what makes this season so much harder, is because there could be people who are like, even if you talk about someone like Serpent,
even if there's like
who
one
you could
person
argue,
who's really incredible in Group C, then I'll be like, well, shoot, who are the 3 that are going to be in the finale?
Precisely my thoughts. Like that's why I think it's so much more difficult when you have 2 people sort of in that similar category for this season.
That's fair.
But we'll see.
I don't know.
I could also just see Seahorse, Sun, and Serpent being in the final 3.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that obviously Fox and Rottweiler are very different performers in terms of, you know, I mean, I guess Fox has a little more of a musical theater background, and like he definitely danced a lot more. But it's also like, from a vocal perspective, they don't sound all that different. No, their genres aren't that different.
I completely agree with you on that one. However, I think, like what we were just talking about, the talent level in that wasn't nearly what we had in this, and I feel like clearly they were the best 3 who made it, the best 3 singers made it in that season, whereas there could potentially be 4 or 5 singers who are all roughly the same talent level.
I don't think so.
At least
on the
closer.
Same level as the 2 of them.
Really?
But yes,
you don't think?
I think he's great.
That's a hot take.
I think he's good.
I think that's a hot
Seahorse
take.
and Serpent, or not Seahorse and Serpent, Seahorse and Sun are just on another level.
Okay. I respect that opinion.
As a girl who sings, they are on another level.
I completely understand that opinion. What I'm still saying that the talent level is, the talent gap is closer. You get what I'm saying. You get it.
I just think that if
If
the 2 of them are not in the finale, the best singers did not make it.
Interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. You haven't even seen Group C.
Unless Beyonce is in Group C.
Maybe. Shy Mushroom turns out to be Beyonce Knowles.
Okay, we should probably move on to
our
our Halloween special.
Yes, we should. Explain what we're doing here, Lauren.
All right, so what I did, I went through all 4 of our current seasons, all 4 of the Masked Singer US seasons, and picked out the spookiest costumes from each season. They're an average of 4 or 5 per season, depending on which season had the spookiest. One, I think, as a whole, had the greatest number of outright spooky costumes.
Season 1, you're saying?
Yeah.
I think I can agree with that, and I think that will probably reflect in our tier list.
Definitely. But yeah, so what we're going to do, I have, I believe, 18 costumes that we are going to rank in terms of, okay, at the bottom, least scary is just spoopy with the smiley face.
Yes.
1 level up, we have spooky. A level up from that, we have scary. And then our top level, so scary, it's just called, my eyes.
Yes. Those are our levels.
Yeah.
Our contestants are coming up. Let's get into it.
Number 1 from season 1, Alien.
Okay. I'm going to have to look up some of these costumes again just to see.
Yeah, I did watch season 1 a little more recently than Jackson.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, we're both writing down our answers. I'm sure it's great radio, but you just, all right. My list is much larger than yours, so you can tell where I'm writing it.
Well, all right. Don't look at me. Do you know where you're putting it? Yes. I can go ahead and start talking.
Yes, correct. All right.
Okay.
Shall we do it on 3?
Sure.
3, 2, 1. Spooky.
Scary.
Really?
Well, I thought about putting it in spooky, but honestly, that head is pretty creepy and it's very big. And I'm also in my head comparing it to, you know, especially some of the later seasons costumes that are a little more like they're monsters, but they're kind of cute.
I guess that's fair. I might change it once I see more of them, or mine just might fall more towards the bottom, just considering the level of Masked Singer costumes.
Sure.
The reason I did is because sort of in the same vein, whereas you looked at the head, I sort of looked at the body.
The body is very small. She's definitely very like petite.
Well, and it's just like, it's not necessarily like the body itself isn't. It looks more like a spacesuit almost to me than like a full alien theme. I think the head does put it in spooky as opposed to spoopy, but that's why I was in spooky as opposed to Jesus.
Well, yeah, and in my head, just to clarify the definition, I guess, spoopy is like cute scary.
Yes. Like, you're not gonna...
Not like in a weird doll way, in like a... Oh, you know, it's like a pink jack-o'-lantern. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of scary dolls, if you're looking for an awful movie to watch, watch the movie Robert. 2015.
Or the whole saga. There are 5 of them.
There are 5
He fights the
Robert
KGB.
movies.
He fights Nazis.
Correct.
Kind of crazy.
It is, yeah, it's ridiculous. If you don't understand what we're talking about, we didn't either watching the movie. So you're in the same boat as we are. All right, moving on from Alien.
Moving on. I'm actually going to bounce around between seasons just to make it fun. Okay, next, let's do Robot, season 3, it was Lil Wayne.
I know.
I'm saying for the people.
No.
He was the first elimination in season 3, so I understand if you don't remember the costume.
No, sorry, I meant I know where I'm going to put this.
Oh, okay.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Spoopy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cute little robot.
It's like the reason we put it in is because we wanted enough people, enough bodies, and things that could tangentially be scary. If you look at some
things
robots
that are also like, you know, common Halloween costumes. We
Sure.
were like, oh, a robot's a good one for that. But if you think of like, you know, Hal in 2001: A Space Odyssey, that's a pretty scary robot.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, you look at it, it's very blocky. It's very much like, you know, he's kind of clumsy, kind of big limbs. You know, he's funny looking. He's a cute looking robot. Once again, as we know, Lil Wayne did this for his kids.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that reflected in the costume.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Okay.
All right.
What do we got next?
Yes. So next, I'm going to move on to season 2,
Okay.
Thingamajig.
All right. If you also, anytime you hear Lauren say something and then you hear me hear like a little,
He's typing.
I am typing just to pull them up. Okay.
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 I'm not showing you anything.
No,
okay.
I'm not looking. All right,
Are we
we
ready?
can go. Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Spooky.
I
went
understand why
spooky.
you put it there. I just think Thingamajig is so cute, and especially after seeing Victor Oladipo in the Thingamajig costume, and after everything
fair.
with Nicola Majig, I was like, oh.
That is definitely fair. And my first instinct was Spoopy. Here's why I put him in Spooky, is because I think if you take this and you just like block out the eyes and the mouth, it's much more it's slightly more menacing.
It's like a furry zombie.
Exactly. And you know, you look at like the paws and the feet, and the paws and the feet kind of give me Sully vibes. So it's like,
yeah, I vibe with that.
so it's like, while Sully, if you look at him, isn't necessarily like, you know, he's a big furry dude, but Sully himself is the top scarer at Monsters Inc., as we
True.
know. So I bumped him up for the Sully
Okay.
effect. And
That's fair.
And you know, he has the thing, his suit's kind of tattered.
Yeah.
If he had a perfectly tailored suit, maybe he'd be Spoopy.
I feel
But
like he'd be
I went
scarier if
spooky.
it was perfectly tailored.
You think so?
Yeah, it'd be menacing. It would be intimidating. It's like, why do you look so good?
But also so bad. Yes.
All
fair.
right. Moving on. Another one from season 2, Skeleton.
Let me look. Oh, I just typed in. I was able to type
You just
in.
typed in skeleton?
Yeah, I was able to type in just thingamajig and it came up,
I mean,
but
yeah.
not skeleton.
That scans.
Okay. This one is interesting, actually.
I have a specific reasoning for this, similar to your Sully thing.
Okay. Alrighty.
3, 2, 1. Spooky.
Scary. Really?
Scary. Interesting.
I'd like to hear you speak.
Okay, so in hometown in North Carolina, my parents put out this Halloween decoration every year. That's a little dancing skeleton with a top hat and cane, and he goes, "Hello, my baby, hello, my honey." He sings that whole song.
Great song.
So when I think of Skeleton from the Masked Singer, that is what I think of. And for that reason, it's like, I don't think he's really a scary skeleton. He has some kind of Day of the Dead looking vibes.
Yeah.
So I think he's spooky.
Yes. I respect that.
Kid-friendly Halloween.
And once again, that was where I initially put him. However, Big Brain Jackson over here, Big Brain.
Giant Head Jackson.
Yeah, hey, you watch it. But I am trying to start grading these more on a Masked Singer curve. And in addition to that, if you take off this man's top hat, he's a freaky looking dude. Like,
That's
if you just
fair.
look at it, if you look at his fingers are definitely creepy. I think if you look at him in the context of the Masked Singer, he's not scary. However, you take that costume out and just look at it in the costume itself. So at the same time, I'm judging it on a scale of the Masked Singer, but taking it out of the context of the Masked Singer,
Okay.
if that makes sense. And I
Sure.
think it's a little scarier than we think. So
Okay.
I also just didn't want to have Zero and Scary. But once again,
That's
I
fair.
might regret these at the end and switch them around.
Okay. All
But
right.
I'm going with it.
Well, next, we're actually going to move all the way up to someone we haven't seen yet. So, Squiggly Monster from season 4. All the way in Group
Alrighty.
C might be amazing. We'll see.
Could be the best. but could be not.
All right, let me know when you are ready, Jackson.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Spooky.
Ah, my eyes.
What?
I hate this one.
Wow.
It's so scary. No, it looks like the what's his face from Yo Gabba Gabba. Is his name Gabba? I don't know. But the one character, I've seen it like on the TV when I'm at the dentist or something. But like, yeah, this thing, like, it gives me "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" vibes in a way. Not quite for the same reason that whatchamacallit does.
Sure.
But it just seems like it should be on a kid's show, but also a really demented one. Like, this thing will come kill children in their sleep. Like, this is the monster under the bed.
That is so interesting, because I don't really feel that same way. I don't know. I think it's the bright colors of the body that make me like, oh, that's not that menacing. Really, what even jumped it up from spoopy for me, because I was about to put it in there, is the eyes. The eyes are a bit freaky. And those 2 little hands he has coming out the top of his head.
Yeah, no thanks. No
that
thanks.
That looks ridiculous. I love it. But yeah, that's why I put it in spooky instead. But I get that. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right, moving on. Let's do... Well, okay, we'll rank them separately, but I want to introduce them together.
Okay.
Mr. and Miss Monster. Well, just Monster and Miss Monster, I guess.
Okay. Okay. What if mine's the same for both? Can
Mine
we knock
is
them
the
out?
same for both.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, spoopy.
Spoopy, yes.
Yeah. No, they're both so cute, especially like... What song was it when Monster came out in the little jacket and he had his like fur slicked down and I was like, oh.
Was that American Woman? Was that
No. American Woman I think was the one where he had the leather jacket.
Oh, you meant the suit jacket.
Yes.
Stay With Me.
That's it. Oh, it was so cute.
Yeah. Well,
like Monster.
You look at them and they have the proportions of like cute beings.
Exactly.
You know, they have like
they're monsters, but like they're so cute.
Exactly. They have the short arms, the
they're
big
cotton
heads.
candy colored.
Exactly. Bright colors. And you know, like Monster has like his little buck teeth. He's cute.
Yeah.
And Miss Monster has like the big lips and the big eyelashes.
Yeah.
You know, these are meant to
again,
be cute, cuddly monster. Cute,
absolutely.
cuddly, spoopy monsters.
Well, and again, they don't look like kid-friendly but demented like Squiggly Monster does.
Yeah.
They look purely kid-friendly.
Yeah. Sure.
So,
sure.
Yeah.
I buy it.
All right, moving on. We have Black Widow from season 2.
Okay, let's see.
Who was Raven Simone. And should not have gone home this early, but she broke her arm, so...
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll work on that. Release the Mass Singer tapes. Oh. Yep. All right.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Scary.
Yeah.
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 We're on the same page.
Yeah.
We
This
have
one.
a Black Widow in our garage. It's huge.
Yes. Yes, we do. And Lauren will come in and be like, "Hey, I saw Scarlett Johansson in the garage," and I'm like, "What? You did?"
It's become a bit. It's become a bit.
Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow in the Marvel
Yeah.
movies. In case that joke went over your head, like it did mine to start with. But yeah, the reason why I did Black Widow in Scary is because I don't necessarily think she's like terrifying, but I
No.
think the costume itself is very sleek, and it does have like a scary like. If you
Absolutely.
see
that would
this
be
costume,
a good Halloween costume.
exactly. You see this costume in a dark room, and you're not like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. You're like, I'm uncomfortable, and maybe
Yeah.
I'll die.
Maybe I'll die.
But yeah, do you have any further thoughts on Raven Simone's Black Widow?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's
a really
scary,
cool-
not horrifying, but scary.
Really, really cool costume.
I
Really,
agree.
really cool costume.
All right, let's move on to White Tiger from season 3. Rob Gronkowski, who we discussed earlier in the show.
Love you, Gronk. This one is interesting.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with this one too, to be honest. I mean, I put it somewhere, but I don't feel confident about it.
Yeah, okay, I know where I'm going.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Spooky.
Scary.
I almost put it in scary. I think if I saw that thing coming towards me, I'd be scared. It has those giant yellow fangs.
That is where my mind went. Because when I see this costume, not even necessarily that it's on a higher tier of like tier 2, but I don't think of this costume as spooky. I think of it as scary. if that makes sense.
That convinced me I'm going to move it.
I won her over to our side, folks, whoever was in agreement with me. But yeah, I think just because it's like you said, you see this thing coming at you, you say, that's becoming my criteria. Actually, if that was my criteria, I might change where Squiggly Monster is. But if I see this with me in a dark room, am I going to be scared? You know?
And
that's sort of my thing.
Yes, I will.
So
well,
yes,
if I was thinking of it
scared.
as like a white tiger as opposed to Rob Gronkowski,
well, because
I am not scared of Rob Gronkowski.
Sure.
One bit.
Sure. Maybe if you played defensive back for
yeah,
the Bills
maybe I would, but
be
as a regular person,
correct,
not so much.
But yeah, I went white tiger because of that scare, that tiger. The costume itself, especially the face, is very menacing.
Yeah.
So I think it deserves being in the scary column.
All right, well, let's move on to one of our more famously scary costumes, I guess.
Actually, now that my criteria has changed about if I was alone in a dark room with this, I'm moving Squiggly Monster to On My Eyes.
I won him over, folks.
Once again, in the context of The Masked Singer, it's not bad, but I'm alone in a dark room with that thing. I am bolting. I am just leaving.
All right, so moving on to, like I said, one of the more famously scary costumes, Season 1, Rabbit.
I actually really, yes, I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
My eyes.
Yes.
I do not want to be alone in a room with this straight-jacketed rabbit.
Correct.
No thanks.
And that's why I think I'm so glad we clarified this criteria of being alone in a room with it, because I love Rabbit. I also love what Joey Fatone did with Rabbit.
That was definitely the first person to really commit to a character on the show, for sure.
And that's why I appreciate it. And once again, like the costume itself, it's a little creepy, it's a little scary, but combine that with being in a dark room with it, and with Joey Fatone's characterization
those glowing eyes,
exactly.
No thanks.
Those eyes are menacing in the dark and in the light. Joey Fatone, good for you. The more and more I look back on Season 1 and on the Rabbit's performances, I really like Rabbit. I really like Rabbit as a performer and as a character. So,
all right, let's see. How about we move on to our most recent elimination, Baby Alien? Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Spoopy.
Yep. Yeah. It's a baby. It's an alien.
While it is a bit of an abomination, it is very cute.
I would not be scared to be alone in a room with this thing.
Exactly.
The other Aryan. Wow.
Whoa.
Alien is a different story.
Yeah.
No. I'm also scared to be alone in a room with Aryans as well.
Yes. Well,
if we're going by World War II standards.
World War II standards.
I'm digging myself in a hole. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are, Lauren. Also, when your boyfriend has blonde hair and blue eyes.
Well.
But anywho, but yes, Baby Alien is just cute. He's just cute.
He's just cute. I mean, 2 of the judges wanted to adopt him. I don't think he's that scary.
Exactly. And, especially, once again, the characterizations. He's an all-around loving fella. So, yep, I agree. Spoopy.
Okay, let's see. Going back to Season 2, our last one from Season 2, I think. Butterfly, Michelle Williams. I might actually have to look at a picture of this one with you.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Scary.
Spooky.
I understand you're spooky simply because it is a butterfly, but also this is the scariest incarnation of a butterfly I have ever seen.
I can agree with that. Once again, going back to this dark room, I open my eyes, I see that. Initially, I'm spooked, but then I look
like, maybe
more
I'm
at
being
it.
visited by fairies.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's like, I think the eyes are a little menacing at first. You look at it more, and you're like, okay. It's not too bad. It's a large butterfly. If it was a large spider, I'm scared of it. It's a large butterfly, Lauren. Just floating around.
Yeah, but I feel like it just looks too innocent. You know what I mean? Like, this thing's gonna eat my heart.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyway.
I guess. Moving on.
Okay, so going back up to Season 1, Deer, Terry Bradshaw.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
My Nice.
Glad we're on the same page. So when I look at deer, I think I mentioned this on our season 1 recap episode, but that makes me think of Eric Rowan, who I think now is only known as Rowan, who is a WWE wrestler.
Former WWE wrestler, I think.
That's right. He's not. You're right. But he would always come out with a gas mask that looked like an animal. Or not a gas mask, just like some kind of animal.
Animal mask.
Very scary
the
animal
Wyatt
mask.
family.
He would like put it on the ring post and stuff and like look at it and reference it during matches.
Yeah.
It was very creepy. Deer definitely gave me that same vibe. And even though I will say I don't think the rest of the costume, aside from the headpiece, was super duper compelling, that deer gas mask with the giant antlers was alone enough to scare me.
Yeah. I get like cult vibes from this.
Very cult vibes.
I get like southern cult vibes from this, and that's why I have it in On My Eyes. I open my eyes to see this thing staring at me.
That's it, I'm dying.
Yep.
That thing is gonna run its antlers through me.
Yeah, exactly. It's menacing in its size and in its implications.
I agree.
In its inferences.
Yeah, in its inferences.
In its illusions.
All right. Moving on to our season 3 winner, Night Angel.
Okay, let me look up Night Angel again, actually. This one is tough for me, actually.
No, it's tough, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Scary.
Spooky. I thought about putting it in scary. I put it in spooky just because when I think of being alone in a room with the Night Angel, I don't think I'm going to die at her hands.
I disagree with that. It's the eyes for me, champ.
Well, it's also the mouth, too.
The eyes and the mouth are very disconcerting. And kind of in the same way you've talked about some of the costumes, where it's like there's almost a disconnect between the head and the body. For me, the body isn't menacing, the head is, and to me that is disconcerting. I look at it and it's like, oh god. Oh god. That's just what I think of when I see this costume. It's a cool costume, but also it would kill me, and I have no doubt about that.
I'm putting it in spooky, I think mostly probably because of the color scheme.
I guess
and also like the shape of the dress, it's kind of poofy and stuff.
Well, that's the
I guess it's a disconnect, but I don't know. That gives me definitely more, like, spooky Halloween costume vibes as opposed to
interesting.
I'm going to die here vibes.
Okay, well, I respect your right to have an opinion.
Okay. All right, let me see. I just realized I have 3 more from season 4 left.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Let's get into those.
4 more total left. So, Dragon, Busta Rhymes.
Misspelled singer. Good job, Jackson. Okay, yeah, I get it.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, scary.
Spooky.
I understand that. I just think that, like, if I was alone in the room with the dragon, I'd be like, I'm probably gonna die, but also I don't care because he's so cool.
Yeah, he is really cool. You have to stop agreeing with me, Lauren. We need to have differing... We need to be like, pardon my take. Not pardon my take. First Take.
Okay.
On ESPN, where they disagree with each other. But here's my vibe with spooky. Dragon just looks like a wise old man to me. And so while he does have those red menacing eyes, at the same time I think he's gonna impart some sort of lifelong wisdom that I can carry with me.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
See, I thought of it as more of like
an old sage.
He looks like
a sage old man.
He looks like a young, super in shape kind of guy, even though it is Busta Rhymes, who is definitely like one of our older legend mass singers. But I don't know. I thought of him as more of like a young, super cool, like
take your lunch money.
He's gonna kick my butt, you know.
He's gonna
not that he's a bully, but like he's gonna kick my butt.
I know. Yeah. Okay. I hear you.
Okay.
But I disagree.
Okay, so I'm gonna do one more real quick from season 4.
Sweet.
Gremlin, Mickey Rourke.
Okay. Yeah. I don't even have to look this up.
Yeah.
Lauren's looking at me if I'm trying to cheat off her.
It's the Hermione and me.
Okay.
All right.
3,
2, 1, scary.
Really?
Well, I just don't think this is again like Squiggly Monster. This one just
though.
looks a little too demented to me.
Really?
I don't want to be alone in a room with Gremlin.
I would be fine. Like, I look up Gremlin, and once again,
and the movie Gremlin.
The movie come up.
The movie Gremlin appearance definitely depends on, before or after.
Yeah. Once again, it's like the just traditionally cute features for me. The large head, the big eyes, the buck teeth. I just think he's like a cute little dude. He's very fuzzy, too. Like, this is Gremlin pre-transformation.
That's fair. Okay, I've been convinced to move Gremlin down to spooky,
Don't you dare.
but not spoopy.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially because I kind of have a lot in scary, as I just realized.
Sure. Yeah, I think that he is he's a cute, cuddly fella just looking for a good time.
Okay.
IMO, in my opinion. Okay.
All right, we're going to go back to season 1.
Second to last.
Last one, Raven.
Quoth the Raven.
Nevermore.
I am...
Okay, I want to look at this one too over your shoulder.
Quoth the Raven, I am... Who was the Raven? Joke kind of ruined. I'll just show you the costume.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I remember, this one is definitely intentionally scary.
Yeah, alright, I got mine.
Okay.
Alright, there's gonna be a lot of dead space on this one.
Alright.
Time for everyone to sit and think. Alright.
3, 2, 1.
Scary.
My eyes. I almost put it in scary, but I don't want to be alone in a room with this thing. It has a metal beak. It's gonna impale me.
I get that, and I think the cage on it makes it much scarier.
I agree.
Like the cage adds a whole other level of scariness. However, just the actual costume itself is literally just like a black
outfit.
Yes.
No, I get that. But again, it's similar to the deer. I mean, I think the deer definitely has a little more going on with the full body costume.
Sure.
But the Raven, the mask is very scary.
I know the mask is one of the scarier
And the light's
masks,
gonna catch that thing. You go in a dark room and just the light of the door illuminates that head and you're like, nope.
Sure. See, for me, the eyes are like dark too, which I think work for the costume, but almost lessen the scariness. I wonder if this would be scarier with red eyes or if it'd be worse. Actually, I don't know. I might take back what I said. But I still
don't think ravens have red eyes.
Do rabbits have red eyes?
A lot of them, yeah. The white ones usually do.
Lies. Anyways, I was just sitting there trying to think of something to say. But yes, I don't know. For me, I still stick by solely scary. Still wouldn't want to be in the room with it.
Yeah.
Still wouldn't want to.
All right.
But I get it.
Our very last scary costume.
Yep.
Whatchamacallit.
Yep.
It really does make me think of like the aliens from Sesame Street. The
Interesting.
But also makes me think of this one. Makes me think of "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared." Red guy who has like a mop head.
Correct.
So there's that. Okay.
So much dead space.
I'm writing the whole name.
Great.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Scary.
My eyes!
I understand that. I thought about putting it there. It's really that one eye on the top of the head that gets me.
As in, like, gets you...
Like, it's scary.
Oh, that's the only thing that's scary to you?
Well, I mean, the rest of it looks kind of scary, but then it also just, like, I don't know, the bright colors and, like...
I guess.
It just looks kind of like, this guy might just be misunderstood. That's what I think of when I see whatchamacallit.
I mean, they all could be misunderstood. But this dude...
But I have a little less sympathy in my heart for Raven.
He is unsettling to me. He is the leader of a group of aliens who are coming down to destroy planet Earth with their colorful colors.
Okay.
It's the truth, and I stand by that. Okay. I don't know. He's just freaky to me.
Well,
that one eye is weird.
If I had...
Get away from me.
If I had maybe seen Squiggly Monster perform and not whatchamacallit, if those roles had been switched... Maybe I would have a different opinion about both of them.
Yeah.
But I think whatchamacallit has proved to me in his performances that he's not that scary.
Well, see, that's why you can't
I know.
Performances. How dare you?
I know.
How dare you, you biased individual. Another thing that makes me uncomfortable about him is his texture.
His texture, I think the texture's kind of cool.
Is uncomfortable to me. Well, I guess it feels too silky to me.
Gives me Rapunzel vibes.
Okay.
He's just trapped in a tower. He just wants to be rescued.
I am trapped in the tower of having to look at him. That's my tower, Lauren. Having to look at whatchamacallit. That's my Rapunzel tower. Okay. So,
all right. So that's our tier list.
Yeah.
So let's do a little rundown.
Yes.
In my eyes, I have squiggly monster, rabbit, deer, and raven.
I'm going to go from the bottom up.
Okay.
In Spoopy, I have robot, gremlin, monster, Miss Monster.
Wait, I feel like we should be on the same page so people can understand who we have ranked where.
Then you should go from the bottom up because I feel like that's more intuitive.
Okay, fine. In Spoopy, I have robot, thingamajig, monster, and Miss Monster, and baby alien.
Sweet. In Spooky, I have alien, thingamajig, butterfly, and dragon.
In Spooky, I have skeleton, gremlin, and night angel.
In Scary, I have skeleton, black widow, white tiger, night angel, and raven.
In Scary, I have alien, black widow, white tiger, butterfly, dragon, and whatchamacallit.
Yeah, your Scary stacked.
Yeah.
In my eyes, I have squiggly monster, rabbit, deer, and whatchamacallit.
And like I said before, in my eyes, I have squiggly monster, rabbit, deer, and raven.
Once again, our criteria are based on the fact, if we were stuck alone in a dark room with this person, how scared would we be?
So hopefully with all that dead space in this episode, you created your own tier list.
Exactly.
And let us know your comments.
Yeah, share it with us.
In our iTunes reviews, comment on one of our Instagram posts, whatever you want to do.
And if you think
we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, if you think there are any costumes we missed, any scary costumes that you wish we would have had on this list, also let us know in our comments or email us, whatever. We're happy to receive.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say we did open this up on our other show, but if you would like to leave us an iTunes review and let us know what you're going to be for Halloween, it'll take a couple days to show up, just so you know, but we will read it on next week's episode that will drop on Friday, Friday, the day before Halloween.
Yes, exactly. And if you want to double make sure that we see it, for instance, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh no, this is only a couple minutes before they might be recording or a couple days before they might be recording their next episode, I don't know if it's going to show up. If you also just screenshot it and email it to us or something, we will take your word for it and then read it on the show. Yeah. So, I think that's all we got.
That's all for now, folks.
So, next week, hopefully we will have an episode that is a recap.
Based on an episode.
Yes. not just us talking off the dome, which we do enjoy doing. But, yes. So, hope to see you next week on Who It Up,
the Masked Singer Podcast.